Right then guys, how's it going? Welcome back to a new video, and a video I'm very excited for making because we are now less than 1 week away from the Euros kicking off on Friday. And this is something I always like to do with the Euros, the World Cup. We are doing the Euros Fantasy Football League. Now I know it's been a while since I did my last video, so it's good to be back, good to see you guys. I always love doing fantasy football for the Euros World Cup because it's 3 weeks of day by day changes, so it can be a little intense, but when there's 3 games on a day, it's a lot of fun. And as much as I do love doing the Premier League one, it's sometimes quite hard to keep up with it for a full season. But what I will quickly do, which I haven't done yet, is shout out the winner of who actually won my Premier League Fantasy League for the season just finished, and it is Agnostic CF. So if you are watching, mate, well done to you. Lacazette FC, come on you Gunners. Basically, if you've made this top page in my league, thank you for taking part throughout the season. Sorry I didn't update it as much as I maybe should have, but a big thank you anyway. And as I scroll all the way down, you will see I am down here at the bottom. I came 524th, which wasn't great. But as I say, we are back. It is time for the Euros, and I will show you straight away my league code, so be sure to jump in if you haven't already. I did post it on Instagram, and one absolute legend, that is Bladen Bombs, jumped in, so it's just me and him at the minute. But if you do want to be part of it as well for the Euros Fantasy Football, be sure to jump into the league. I'm going to show you what I've done with my team so far. As I say, there's a week to go, there's still friendlies to go, and then I'll also talk a little bit about the rules and how best to make the most of your team going into the tournament. So that is what my team is looking at right now. Don't copy it, because I've put a few players that I liked in, but the rest of it was automated. I just started the team up. I wanted to get this video on the go. I will be back again before the tournament kicks off to tell you what I went for with my team once I've given it a little more thought, once all the friendlies are over. But generally, just to show you what I'm doing, this is what the website looks like. This is what my team is. I currently have 2 English left backs, which will definitely not stay the same. But this is the page you're looking at when you come in to make your team. You've got 11 players on the pitch. You also have 4 players on the bench. And it's a little bit different the way this works to the Premier League Fantasy League, because you are most likely to actually use all 15 players. So I would suggest you're better off having 15 players that are going to play than 11 players plus 4 players that probably won't get on, because the chances are they probably will. And I will talk a little bit about some tactics for doing this Euros Fantasy League, how the transfers and how the substitutions works. So as I say, you really want to have 15 players that are going to play. If I scroll down a little bit, you can see the fixtures that are coming up. So you've got unlimited changes from the moment you go onto the website, which I will leave a link for in the description. From the moment you join my league code and then decide to start making changes, you've got until 8 o'clock on Friday to make as many changes as you want. You can put whatever players in you want. I think you've got a budget of 100 million. Put in who you can. And then what happens is, that is match day 1. So match day 1 is like round 1. It's the first game for every country. So as you can see here, Italy, Turkey on the Friday, Wales, Switzerland, Denmark, Finland. And as we go through, you can see this is all match day 1. Once everyone's played 1 game, it switches to match day 2. And then you have 2 transfers before the next match day. But this is where it gets a little bit more complicated. Within match day 1 and each following match day, you can still make substitutions in between each day. So you get 2 transfers between match days, between rounds, but you can make substitutions between the days within a match day. Hopefully that's making sense. So this is why, as you can see, Turkey, Italy on the Friday, you then have a substitution window for the next day. You then get another substitution window for the next day. And what those substitutions are is moving your players from the bench onto the pitch. So if you play the first game, where are we? Italy, Turkey. You can see I've got Yilmaz up front. If he gets no points or 1 point before the next match day starts, I can look at swapping Yilmaz out for another player who will play in that round. You only get the points for the 11 players that are left on the pitch at the end of that round. So if someone gets 0 points, someone gets 1 point, you may as well substitute them in. Hopefully they can get a better score. And that's why you want to have 15 players. You can see I've got who have I got? Courtois, Belgium. He is in the second day, so you could have a goalie from the... You don't want to have a goalie who's going to play on the same match day, because then you wouldn't be able to use them. If you had a Wales goalie and a Denmark goalie, they'd both be playing on the same day. You wouldn't be able to sub one out for the other one. You're better off having Courtois in there and then putting Pickford in for England. So if Courtois doesn't get a clean sheet, then the next day, then you put your England goalie in. So hopefully that makes sense. Another thing to mention as well is the captaincy. So it's on Benzema at the minute, which makes no sense because he plays on the last day of the round, on the Tuesday. You can also move your captain each day as well. So if I start off again with Yilmaz as captain, on the first day, the Friday, he gets no points. I can move that captaincy to someone else. And then the next day, I can move it to someone else. But you only get the points for who is captain at the end of the round. So if Yilmaz scores a hat-trick against Italy, I'm not going to move the captain. I'm going to leave it on him until the round ends, and that's where I get the points with him as the captain. So I've tried to explain that. I was in the pub last night with my mates and I explained exactly the same and they seem to understand it. So I'm hoping that you guys have as well. As I say, if you did want to learn more about the rules, they do have everything listed on the website here for you. Fantasy football rules. If you come down, it explains the transfers and the way the substitutions works. The manual substitutions, as I've discussed, taking a player out, put them on in between the days. And then, as I say, you get 2 transfers between each day. The only other thing to mention is you do get chips in this. So if you don't know what chips are, there's 2 in this. One of them is wildcard, which means you can change your full team to another team without incurring a penalty. There's no maximum amount of transfers. It's pretty similar to the Premier League one. There is also a limitless chip, which I had to get my head around. It basically means that you can make... It's like a... if you play Fantasy Premier League, it's like a... what's it called? A one hit, I think it's called, where you can make as many changes as you want, but just for that round. But it's called limitless, so you can actually put in as many players as you want from whatever team at an unlimited cost. And then when that round ends, you then get your original team back. So people are talking about doing this in round 2 because you want to make the most of the big teams playing the smaller teams. If you're doing it in the final, you know, it's probably going to be 0-0. You're not going to make too many points off that one. You want to probably be looking at doing this one in round 2 where you can try and target some players. And then obviously with the wild card, you're more likely to want to use that in the later stages of the tournament because as more teams get knocked out, you're going to have less players in your team that are actually playing. And you want to be able to switch it all up to the players that are. So, those were the rules. As I say, if you want to come through and read all this kind of stuff, then please do. It does take a little bit of time to get your head around. They've obviously got all of the amount of points that you get. You don't get bonus points in this, so this is something else to consider, especially with your captain. You know, midfielders get 5 points for a goal, strikers only get 4. Who are the penalty takers? That's always a huge one in the tournaments because there's always way more penalties than you're expecting them to be. And if they're a midfielder who takes the pens, then that's a good shout. As I say, for me, the big thing for getting started is getting your team ready and then trying to look at it a little more tactically. you want to have 4 subs on the bench who really are playing in the last 2 days. So when you look at your first 11 after the first couple of days and there's 1 or 2 players or 4 players who haven't got many points, you can then sub them out. And that's when it gets tactical, because you know, if you've got a goalie, if I swap these round, because it would be the other way, if you want to make sense. Yeah, so Courtois plays, he gets a clean sheet, but doesn't make many saves. Maybe he picks up a yellow card. Am I going to be risky enough to then put in the Reese, or am I going to be safe and just take my 4 points? Same with defenders. A clean sheet, or maybe they grabbed an assist but not a clean sheet. Is it worth risking it to try and get a few more points? Probably not. But that's where it kind of comes into like that daily changes, and it's always a lot of fun. So yeah, as I say, I will be back to do my full team run through. I want to look at some budget players. You know, I love my budget defenders. I really do. And obviously, as I say, if you haven't joined the league already, please do. It is gaming.uefa.com. I will probably put that on the screen as well, and I'll definitely put it down in the description. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. As always, hopefully that kind of helped you. The videos ran a little bit longer, and my team is not 100% there yet, so I will be back before Friday to go through that in a bit more detail. Let me know what you think of this. Let me know who you think's going to win the Euros. You know, I think England have got... It's England though. I do honestly think England have got a chance, but it's England in a tournament, and you know, it's been a long time coming. So yeah, thanks for watching. As always, drop a like on the video, subscribe if you are new. Look out for the Euros fantasy football videos, because I do plan on doing this for the full tournament. And yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you later.